I'm a 32-year-old widow. I have been for 3 years. I struggled a lot financially. I didn't get help from my family because they claimed they couldn't, so I decided to start a home daycare. It's been open for 7 months now. My friend was able to get me more clients via Facebook. Thank goodness my business is growing, and I've made quite a lot of friends who are moms and also established a good reputation since my daycare has been recommended. My sister, 26, is unemployed. She didn't find a job yet and had to pay rent for her and her boyfriend. My parents suggested I let her work with me at my daycare, and I accepted since she has experienced it in the past. I agreed to let her come and earn her living. She got along with the other workers, and things were going fine until she came to me asking about a specific child that comes to our daycare. He's a toddler, very well behaved for his age. I was confused after she complained about him. She said that she saw his dad come over to pick him up and didn't feel comfortable when she saw him because he's a police officer. She had an unpleasant incident with the police because of something her boyfriend did that she needed therapy for and struggled a lot from. So she wanted me to let the child go and tell the parents to look for another daycare. He usually arrives at 3 p.m. to pick the kid up. From what I understand, his wife's sick. I refused. I have no good reason to let the child go. My sister refused to drop it and started being mean to the dad. It was unprofessional of her. I told her she had to be respectful or I wouldn't have her work with me anymore. 2 days ago, she emailed the dad, telling him we won't be welcoming his kid at the daycare anymore. He came to talk to me, and I was livid when I saw the email. He asked why and talked about his kid wanting to stay because he's friends with the other kids. He talked about not being able to find a daycare closer than ours. I lashed out at my sister, and I told her she could no longer work at the daycare because of her behavior. We got into an argument, and she left after saying I was being unsupportive and inconsiderate. My parents called me saying I shouldn't have kicked my sister out, causing her to lose her apartment. They argued that I have no regard for my sister's trauma, and I should have let the child go and supported her because she's my sister. Everyone shamed me and claimed I had messed up priorities. I felt I was in the wrong for letting her struggle now without a job, but I have no reason to let go of the child. He wears a uniform. My aunt suggested that I ask him to get someone else to come and pick up his kid, or at least I let her leave before 3 p.m. and arrive a bit late in the morning, but others would notice the difference in treatment at the daycare. I understand that parents are struggling, and I do all I can to help out and be supportive. Yes, she's my younger sister, but treating people like that was unprofessional of her. One thing to clarify, my sister's boyfriend has no contact with my family due to issues. However, they said they want to support my sister and be in contact with her and support her, although they don't have a relationship with her boyfriend. That's why they keep pressuring me to help and support her. Not the idiot. You could have lost the whole business because of what she did, and you gave her plenty of warning. Even if she needed therapy, she was still being beyond unreasonable. She could have excused herself for a break at the time the cop came to pick up his kid, and she'd have never needed to see him. But instead, she went behind your back and went against your explicit instructions. She got exactly what she deserved. The fact that she had the nerve to send an email as if she had any authority. She is not an owner or a partner, and she way overstepped her position. If any other employee pulled this stunt, they would have been fired too. She is not exempt just because she's your sister. There's a reason your sister is unemployed. She's simply a poor employee. This is a business, and she failed to demonstrate any respect for you as the owner. Exactly. Her trauma is not remotely an excuse for what she did, and it's pathetic that the rest of the family is acting like it's okay. Kicking a child out of daycare because she has a problem with a different cop? Jesus Christ! She should not be working with kids because that behavior is not remotely acceptable. Her struggle to find a job is not your responsibility. You have your own life and worries and are making a living. Instead, it is her unprofessional behavior that caused her current difficulties. I, 19 female, live with my boyfriend, 20, in a 3-bedroom house. His grandma left it for him after she passed away. My sister, 21, moved in with us during the global issue with her 3 kids and boyfriend, 24. She does not work but helps clean the house and her boyfriend has a part-time job but pays child support, so he helps with food. So last weekend, they invited over a few of my sister's boyfriend's friends for his birthday. There were 6 of them. My boyfriend and I stayed in our room. At one point, I got up to get some water and snacks for him and me. I was wearing a tank top and some shorts that showed off some of my tattoos. Well, one of my sister's friends saw them and recognized them from my secret account. He ended up asking her about it. My sister told me she didn't feel comfortable with me doing that with kids living in the house the next day. I lock my door when I do make content, so there's no way the kids will walk in, and I told her that. I make over $1,000 a month off my secret account. I also do have a full-time job. She told me I needed to stop anyways, and I told her no. She started calling me names and saying she didn't want me around her kids if I was going to be doing stuff like that. So I told her fine, she could find somewhere else to live. After that, she started calling me worse names and screaming at me. I screamed back at her saying, well, at least I'm not 21 with 3 different baby daddies and about to have another kid. She got mad at me and called me selfish because I have money and don't help out with her kids enough, and that I'm also a bad influence on them with how I dress. I'm goth. I told her that I let her stay in my and my boyfriend's house, rent-free with her kids. She told me she would gladly move out, but I would have to pay for her first few months' rent because she can't work right now. I told her she was crazy and she had until December to get out. She told me I was cruel and rude for doing that to her. Because I have enough money to waste, I won't help her out. Me getting cosplay and tattoos. After that, I just locked myself in my room until my boyfriend got home and talked to him about it. He's on my side, but my sister told my family, and they are on her side. This is not the first fight we had, but it was the breaking point for me. I honestly don't know what to do. My boyfriend thinks we should kick them out sooner, but I don't know. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister and her entire family are living for free in your home? They benefit from your secret account, so she has no right to start making any demands at all. Time to cut your losses and tell her to kick rocks. The sooner the better. Not the idiot. The sister has no job, and the kids' dads are not supporting them. Therefore, the sister has no deep ties to the current location and can move to stay with another family member. Above all, she needs a wake-up call. Or she can adjust her attitude. Stop drama with family. Understand that you're supporting all of them and show some proper gratitude, and work on a plan to actually be able to support her kids. Jesus, I've always found it amazing how you let family move in and they get so comfortable that they think they suddenly make the rules. She's forgotten which side her bread is buttered on. So all this time she's lived with you, she didn't know how you help support yourself? Or it just became a big deal, an embarrassment that someone she and her boyfriend are friends with recognized you. If she was so worried about her kids, she'd have stopped having unprotected intimacy when the dads kept splitting, or when she couldn't provide for them on her own without leeching off her sister and her boyfriend. Here's the situation. My nearly adult daughter's homecoming dance was last Saturday, and I told her that her dress was inappropriate because it was strapless. My wife believed that her dress was beautiful and perfectly modest, but I didn't think so. So I told her not to wear the dress or there would be consequences, but she and my wife refused. I had to work late until Saturday evening, so I wasn't at my house to enforce her not wearing the dress. I got home around 9 o'clock that night. When my wife and daughter walked into the house 2.5 hours later, I was appalled. She wore the exact dress I had specifically told her she was forbidden from and undermined my authority. My wife told me to cool down and said that she would hang a picture of her wearing the dress in our living room. For this, she is in big trouble and grounded for 1 week. Since she has lost my trust, I will pick out her clothes during her punishment time. This will be enforced during school, church, and other activities. This made her cry. My daughter had told her friends during youth group that I broke her heart. I had several of her friends' moms come to me during church, telling me that I was wrong and needed to apologize to her. One of the moms said she was a chaperone at the homecoming dance and said that she looked beautiful and that nothing was wrong with her dress. I told her that she disobeyed me when I told her no strapless dresses, but she ignored me. Since most mothers, including my wife, are against me, do you believe I went too far? Do I need to apologize to my daughter, or should I carry on with her punishment? You are the idiot, and to be frank, your obsessive policing of her dress, which, as you note, others, including her mother, have pointed out was perfectly modest and appropriate, is on the creepy side of the line. Apologize to your daughter and listen to the women in your life. But shoulders. Everyone could see that his daughter had shoulders. She should be wearing a shapeless bag, so no one could tell she has any body parts at all. OP would fit in well with my boss, who has been on a crusade against visible ankles for quite some time. Not sure when we drifted back to the Puritan era, but I don't like it. Severe, you are the idiot. Your authority over her body for showing her shoulders in an otherwise appropriate dress that made her feel beautiful? And then for punishment, you'll pick out her clothes? You had a daughter. You didn't buy a doll. OP, no one else agrees with you. Your authority is only equal to your wife's, and I'm glad she had the common sense to stand up to an arbitrary, chauvinist, regressive attempt to control a young woman's choices. And your bizarrely controlling punishment? I'm not even calling it that because it's nonsense, even if you think it's reasonable. You are the idiot for not realizing that the choices you make with your daughter now will affect the relationship she has with you as an adult. Time to respect her independence, or expect not to hear from her as soon as she's out from under your thumb. My sister got married last weekend, and I was one of her bridesmaids. The whole wedding process was exhausting, since my sister had many demands that most of us couldn't fulfill, but tried our best anyway so we wouldn't be accused of ruining her day. Before the wedding happened, my sister made sure to let me know that my fiancé was not invited to the wedding because he'd be a distraction to me. She also said she's not giving any bridesmaid a +1 for that reason. I told her she must be out of her mind, since my fiancé has been in our family for 5 years, and our wedding is also a few months away. I said none of us would be distracted, and uninviting my fiancé for that reason is a crap move. My parents agreed and thought her decision was unreasonable. She said okay, fine, and said she'd invite him. He'd sit at a different table as a family guest, rather than as my +1, since he's been part of our family for years, not simply my +1. My sister later admitted that her original thought was unreasonable. On the day of the wedding, after the ceremony, as we were about to enter the venue, I walked in with my fiancé, and the wedding planner came to me and said, "The gentleman is not invited, bride's orders." I said the bride had re-invited him. She said, "I know he's back on the guest list, but I'm here to make sure the bride has her perfect day." And her original request was for the bridal party to have no +1s. She got pressured into it, but I'm here to make sure I'll speak her mind when she can't do so because of her stress. Now, please, the gentleman must go. I told her to buzz off. She's a wedding planner, not a lawyer. And if my sister still has an issue, she can come talk to me herself, because my fiancé being re-invited was agreed upon after all. The wedding planner threatened to kick me out as well, until my parents and my sister's parents-in-law stepped in and said that that's enough. I told her I didn't want to make a scene. Just let us sit down and take it up with my sister. The wedding went smoothly after that. Thankfully, no drama happened. But as soon as the party ended, the wedding planner came to me and said that she hoped someone would wear white to my wedding if I couldn't respect the bride's wishes. My sister called me the idiot for going against her wedding planner, but also said her wedding planner was out of line, trying to speak over her, when it was agreed upon that my fiancé would be invited. I'm so confused now because I don't know if I'm the idiot or not. Not the idiot? OMG, that wedding planner! I would have told her to buzz off too. How on earth is a stupid wedding planner going to have someone kicked out from their sister's wedding? I would have laughed in her face for about an hour. She's the idiot. And your sister isn't too far off from being a full-blown idiot too. I would look her up and leave a bad review. I wouldn't want a wedding planner that behaved this way. You are not the idiot, OP, but I would bet money on the fact that your sister told the planner to do it and then just denied it so she could keep her hands clean while still having a shot at getting her way, hoping that you would just comply so as not to make a scene. I'm sorry your sister is crazy. Honestly, The only thing I blamed the wedding planner for was telling OP at the end that she hopes someone wears white to her wedding. The rest I blame on the bride. I wouldn't put it past the bride to ask the planner secretly to not let OP's fiancé in. And because the bride is her client, the planner must follow suit, even if it makes her look like a witch. The job is to please the client. My sister, 19, was diagnosed with a learning disability when she was a little girl. She was always my parents' favorite kid of the three of us, and that just cemented it. My parents babied her badly, and then they made excuses for her to be lazy because she's disabled or she struggles to learn. In time, my sister would use the excuse that she was too stupid to pick up her clothes off the floor or walk someplace by herself instead of being driven by me or our brother, the middle kid. My parents expected me and my brother to take care of her because we were doing good in school, and when we graduated, it was like we owed them all for some darn reason. I'm a college graduate and recently got a full-time job. Since then, my sister has been dying to move in with me. She keeps inviting herself to stay the weekend, and I always say no. I have refused to let her into my damn house when she has shown up, expecting to be let in. My brother has issues with it too, but he's still in college, so not as bad right now. I got a lecture from my parents and sister about why I wouldn't let her stay. I told them it's not like she'd pay me or anything or buy food for herself. They said they could provide money, that I know she can't work. She said, yeah, she's too stupid actually to work. I said if she's too stupid to work and pay for her own stuff, then she's too stupid to be away from our parents, and they need to do all the taking care of her because she's not going to be my burden. As you can imagine, it didn't go down well. They said it was a horrible thing to say. Maybe it was, which is why I'm here. Am I the idiot? Your parents have failed your sister by thinking she'll only amount to the lowest common denominator and not even letting her try to succeed at whatever she may be able to succeed at. That said, saying your words, if you're too stupid to, knowing she has a learning disability, that's why you are the idiot here. You called your disabled sister stupid. She shouldn't be living with you though, since you're far too selfish to care for anyone. Did you really expect people to say you were not wrong for repeatedly calling your sister stupid? She calls herself too stupid to do things. It's an OP's right to say the same when she becomes too entitled. Not the idiot. Don't let them guilt trip you into doing something that you aren't content with. She is indeed not your burden. Your parents favored her and parentified you to cater to her needs throughout your childhood. They built your resentment towards her, and that's fathomable. You deserve to live by yourself, and you don't need her clinging and bothersome things. She is and always has been your parents' responsibility. Your parents didn't try to teach her anything at all. They enabled her more and more and abused her because I assure you, I'm too stupid to work means for years they put this in her head, and now it's rooted there so bad. You aren't her caregiver. They are the ones being harsh to her and not you. Please make sure you help your brother stand up for himself too. I can't believe they allowed her to be entirely useless for herself and learn zero skills in life because she's, checks note, dyslexic? It's bonkers and idiotic.